Where is the Garden of Eden? Is it a real place hidden somewhere on earth, or is it only a symbolic paradise that humanity has longed for since the beginning of time? This question has fascinated people for centuries, sparking debates among scholars, explorers, theologians, and everyday believers. The Bible describes Eden as a paradise where the first humans, Adam and Eve, lived in perfect harmony with God. But when we try to picture it on a map, the mystery deepens. Some point to Mesopotamia, in present-day Iraq, while others believe it was in Africa, often called the cradle of humanity. There are theories about Armenia, the Persian Gulf, and even suggestions that Eden is not on Earth at all. For the next half hour, let's journey through history, archaeology, religion, and geography as we explore one of humanity's greatest mysteries, the search for the Garden of Eden. The biblical description of Eden gives us our first clues. In the book of Genesis, Eden is described as a lush paradise planted by God Himself. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided into 4 rivers. These are named as the Pishon, the Gihon, the Tigris, and the Euphrates. The lands around these rivers are described as rich in gold, onyx, and precious stones. This detail is striking because 2 of those rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates, still exist today. They flow mainly through Iraq, an area once home to ancient Mesopotamia. This has led many to conclude that Eden must have been somewhere in that region. But the challenge is that the other 2 rivers, the Pishon and the Gihon, may have dried up or changed course, while others suggest they are ancient rivers we now know by different names. The biblical text points us toward a fertile land where 4 rivers met, but it leaves us with more questions than answers. This uncertainty is why the Mesopotamian theory is the most widely discussed. Mesopotamia, whose name means, the land between the rivers, is where some of the earliest known civilizations emerged, including the Sumerians and Babylonians. It is where agriculture, written language, and city life began. With the Tigris and Euphrates still flowing there today, some scholars believe the Pishon and Gihon could have been rivers that no longer exist, dried up over thousands of years. In fact, satellite imaging has revealed ancient riverbeds buried under the desert sands, suggesting that water once flowed abundantly through the region. Supporters of this theory argue that Mesopotamia's early fertility and abundance fit perfectly with the image of Eden. But there is a problem. Today the land looks nothing like paradise. Much of Mesopotamia is arid, dry, and inhospitable. This raises an important question: if Eden was real, did it somehow change, vanish, or become destroyed? Or was the entire description symbolic from the beginning? For others, the answer lies in Africa. The Bible says the river Gihon flowed around the land of Cush, and Cush is often linked with Ethiopia. This leads to the theory that Eden was in Africa. What makes this compelling is that modern science supports Africa as humanity's origin. Anthropologists often call Africa the cradle of humanity, since the earliest human fossils have been found there. If Eden represents the beginning of humankind, Africa would be a logical choice. Some suggest that Eden could have been near the Nile River, whose fertile lands and lush greenery provided life for thousands of years. This fits both the biblical idea of abundance and the scientific understanding of human origins. According to this view, Eden might not be a literal walled garden, but rather a symbolic way of describing the African birthplace of humanity. There are other theories too. Some point to Armenia, near Mount Ararat, because the Bible says Noah's Ark came to rest there after the flood. If humanity began again from Ararat, perhaps Eden was nearby. Others suggest the Persian Gulf, proposing that rising sea levels after the Ice Age may have submerged the land that once held Eden. Imagine a lush, fertile plain now lying underwater, invisible to human eyes. This could explain why no one has ever found Eden; it may simply be buried beneath the sea. But many theologians argue that Eden was never meant to be found in a physical sense. They believe the Garden of Eden is symbolic, representing humanity's original innocence and closeness with God rather than a specific geographical spot. The rivers and lands described in Genesis, according to this interpretation, are not meant to be plotted on a map but understood as spiritual imagery. Searching for Eden on Earth, in this sense, would be like searching for heaven with a GPS. Some traditions even believe Eden exists in a different realm, a heavenly garden humanity once had access to, but was cut off from after Adam and Eve's disobedience. Modern science and archaeology continue to add to the mystery. Technology like satellite scans has uncovered the dry courses of ancient rivers in the Middle East, some of which could match the biblical rivers. Meanwhile, studies of early human history continue to reinforce Africa as humanity's birthplace. And yet, no discovery has ever pinpointed Eden with certainty. Perhaps that is intentional. Perhaps Eden is designed to remain a mystery, not to be uncovered but to remind us of something greater. So where is the Garden of Eden? Was it in Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates? Was it in Africa, the true cradle of humanity? Was it hidden near Mount Ararat, or swallowed by the Persian Gulf? Or was it never on earth at all, but a spiritual paradise humanity longs to return to? The truth is, we may never know for sure. But the mystery itself continues to inspire faith, research, and debate. Eden may not just be a place to locate on a map, it may also be a symbol of something humanity has always desired: peace, harmony, and closeness with God. Thank you for joining me on this journey into one of history's oldest and greatest questions. If you enjoyed this exploration, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into mysteries of faith, history, and humanity. And now I want to hear from you. Where do you think the Garden of Eden was? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going.